Hey, church family, I'm excited today just to come and spend a few moments with you and share an update of what's going on in the life of our church family. I know many of you are probably having questions about uh, where we are in terms of planning and preparing to reopen our campus. And uh, as I've shared with you, we've been in many seminars and talking with other church families similar to ours in leadership, and certainly our staff. We have been spending time together in conversation and prayer and anticipating that day. And as much as we want to be together here on this campus and worship, we want to be able to do it in a way that is responsible and a way that is safe. In the beginning of this um, pandemic, it was our heart that we would partner with our community and that we would be a witness for the Lord in how we would respond. And we continue want to do that and to be that example and that witness for the Lord Jesus Christ as we monitor what our current situation is here in our state and also in our community. It's been our heart to follow the guidance that has been given to us. And so, as much as we're excited and look forward to that opportunity, I am thankful for those who have worked behind the scenes to make possible our online worship, as well as many of you that are learning to use the online meeting apps to be able to connect in your life groups. I appreciate so much the way that you're staying connected, and I'll encourage you to continue to do that. Most of you, if not all of you, I'm sure aware that our Governor Cooper, has put out a three-phase plan in terms of reopening our state, and we're currently in phase one. And phase one has not changed a lot of things. And so in terms of being able to gather on campus during this first phase is not possible, obviously, because the number of that can gather is limited to 10. And so we're anticipating in phase two that number is going to go up, but we're still in question as to what percentage or what number of folks will be able to gather in a large group for worship. And so as we're waiting for this second phase to open up, I want you to be aware of this. We have made some specific plans, and I want to qualify that by saying, if the Lord wills, regarding our worship in these next few weeks. And so we've done so simply because of the fact that we need to be able to make some decisions in preparation for preparing for those services. And so I can tell you that we are looking forward to this coming Sunday, continuing to be our online worship, and that's May 17th, and then also the 24th and the 31st. We will, even when we move in, should we move into phase two before the end of this month, we still will remain with our online worship services taking place and no services on our campus. And so the reason for that is because in our planning, we had to prepare and design those services either for being on campus or for online. And so we've just made that the plans to keep that online, and so that will be helpful in our knowing and you knowing what things are going to look like through the balance of the month of May for our worship. And so be mindful of the fact that it'll be at least early June, and I'm hesitant to even say what that date will be because even when we move into phase two, we're still not sure what that number will be in terms of gathering together and how large those groups will be. Do be aware of the fact and be informed that we are right now talking about what it will look like when we gather for worship. It will look different. And so a couple of plans that are in place once we're able to come back to this campus that we want you make you aware of today. And one of those is simply this: it will be worship only. That we will have worship only when we reopen our campus. And there Several reasons as we've researched this and talked to others, and primarily it's because of that need for social distancing. And obviously, if you've got life groups happening on part of our campus, and you've got worship happening on part of our campus, and then you begin to transition, it's nearly impossible to keep proper distance from each other. And so we will be having worship only. Now, what that means is not only will there not be adult life groups meeting, but there will not be any preschool or children groups as well. And so when I say worship only, we will plan for that worship only service to take place. And those young families with preschoolers, they will be with us in our worship service. And regarding our life groups, at least here in the near future, we're going to encourage you to continue to meet online through Zoom or whatever online apps you've been using, but to stay connected and to continue to do your life groups online. As we move forward, I just want you to know that the conversation we're having is, again, once we're able to meet on campus, what will that look like? The number, and then also making sure our space, our worship center is clean and sanitized properly. And so all those conversations are taking place now. One of the things you can do for us that would be helpful is that we're going to send out next week, and I anticipate it being on Monday, an email with a survey. And so we just need one response per household. And so we're looking for you to help us to be able to put these plans together as we move forward and anticipate the day that we'll be able to gather here on campus once again for worship. And it's basically a brief survey where you'll indicate that once the all is clear is given and we're able to meet here on campus, that you're going to be comfortable and your family will be comfortable to respond and come back that first week. Some of you may not be ready that first week, and you may choose to continue to worship with us online, and so that will still be a possibility. And so even though the all is clear is given, you say, Travis, I'm not comfortable coming back yet. And so there's a way you can indicate that. And then there's a third response of you're just not certain. And we're not looking for you to share your personal information as far as name and things. It's an anonymous survey where we just can get a feel for what we can anticipate in planning for the opportunity for you to come back as God's people to worship here on this campus. And so be looking for that email. Again, it may come to both, if you're married, it may come to both the husband and the wife. We just need one response, but we're sending it out to as many as we can to make sure everybody gets that. If for some reason you do not receive this email, if you'll email us at fbc@fbcgarner.org and request that survey, we'll be glad to send that to you. We want as many of you, and this will be a tremendous help in responding to the survey, just to help us to be prepared and plan for that day when we'll be able to gather back here on our campus. I just want to assure you, as your pastor, and I speak for our staff as well, that it cannot come too soon. I look forward to the opportunity to see your faces as I preach. But we want to be able to do that in an environment that is safe for all of us. And so whether it be for our children or for our senior adults, I want you to know that you're all in our thoughts and our prayers, and you're part of that process that we're thinking about as we prepare to come back here and worship the Lord. Be aware of this, that again, it's going to look different when we gather for worship with social distancing and with sterilizing our facilities and making sure things are safe for everyone. And so we're going to need everyone's understanding and cooperations and patience as we move forward. But in the interim, as we anticipate that day, you continue to connect through your life group through Zoom and join us on Sunday mornings. Even this week, I encourage you and I invite you to join us on our online worship service, and then also to invite family and friends. What a wonderful opportunity that we have. Know that you're loved, know that you're being prayed for, and as a staff, we ask for your prayers, and we look forward to that day when we can see each other and lift up the name of the Lord Jesus Christ together as a body of believers. God bless you. Have a great weekend.